My first question, though, for you, sir, is one I've been wanting to ask ever since I found out we could do this. Do you get to jump at the front of every line at Disney now?
I do.
Okay,
but that's
the interview is now over. I don't want to.
It's a rare privilege. What happened was that while Dave Barry and I were working on Peter, well, actually before Dave Barry and I started working on a series of books called Peter and the Starcatcher and Starcatchers, I had gone to Disney World with Dave Barry because he told me I couldn't go without him. He said, I am the world's expert on Walt Disney World. And so you always want to one-up Dave Barry because he's the smartest guy in the room. And it's rare you get a chance. And so I had a chance. And at that time, my adult thrillers were being published by an obscure division of Disney called Hyperion Books. And I called my publisher and said, hey, do you have any contacts so that I could sort of one-up Dave Barry when we get to Disney World? And he said, oh, let me make some calls. Well, they gave us the most amazing 3 days, including, as you mentioned, the front of the line. And after that, those 3 days, which were incredible, I was raised to write thank you notes. So I had written some thank you notes. And then I thought, for what they gave us, this is not good enough. I've got to call them. So I called the publisher. He referred me to somebody at Disney, an editor there named Wendy Lefcon. And Wendy and I got talking about, I was probably 45, 46, and it was my first trip to Disney ever. And she said, how do you like it? And I said, I loved it, of course, and I want to thank you for this. But one of the things I noticed was that all the attractions are framed around a beginning, a middle, and an end, which is my bailiwick. And when I go to other unnamed theme parks, they just want to make me throw up.
Right.
Which they often do. And so what interested me and involved me was that, and one reason I think we can all go on those rides multiple times in our lives is we see something new every time, because there's actually a massive subliminal story, sometimes subliminal, being told to you. And that just fascinated me. And she and I got talking about me possibly writing something for Disney. And they wanted a non-adult thriller set inside their theme parks. And there were all these caveats, which were horror moments for a thriller writer, because nothing bad could happen. No kids could get hurt. No sabotage on the rides. It was like anything that might be involved in a thriller could not happen. And I eventually ginned up some ideas that they liked. And she said, so can you get going on this? And I said, I really can't, because my writing process is that I observe, and then I write, and then I edit. And observation might be working on Google, or it might be spending weeks in a library. And it almost always involves going to the location that I'm writing about and spending time there, so I get a sense for it. And I said, so I would need to get inside your theme parks after dark, when everybody's gone. And she said, that is never going to happen. And I said, well, I understand that, but then I can't write for you. Well, she called back a month later and said, I've pulled strings. And just as you asked, I am sending you basically a lifetime pass inside the Disney parks for free. And if you let us know when you're going, we will arrange an Imagineer, the people who create and then build the rides, to be your private guide after hours in the park. Now can you write the books? And I said, yes. So yeah, I carry this, I carry a VIP card that lets me into the parks for free. And, on 30 occasions, I've been able to call ahead of time and go in at like 4:30 in the morning and walk these rides. I walk the emergency route, which takes about an hour and a half. And then I ask them, and they're always very polite about this, and they let me ride the thing alone 5, 6, 10 times. Dave and I, for some books we wrote, we rode the Peter Pan ride 12 times in a row. We were trying to time it. We couldn't get our stopwatches working right, but we eventually got it right. So yeah, I have this amazing privilege right now. I mean, they could cancel this tomorrow, but right now I still have this wonderful privilege of being able to get in the parks when no one's in there.
So here's the shortcut. Start writing suspense and thrillers. under a small Disney title. Have Disney allow you to write books for them about the theme park, get the
Yeah.
lifetime pass, get in there. Accidentally, your stopwatch is not working, and you have to keep going on the ride over and over. I
One
would
of the
think,
things,
yeah,
what
while
you
you're being
mentioned, I mean,
chaperoned, right?
yeah, exactly. One of the great gifts they gave us that weekend, Dave and me and our families, was they gave us what they call a vest, a VIP guide. And perhaps you've had this, and it is extraordinary because they just take you right to the front of every line, or sometimes in the back, and then you get into the line. But to this day, this is how our kids think. You go to Disney World and Disneyland. I go, no. Usually you get 3 rides in like 8 hours. So
And here's a
it's
parade.
a little
What's the
hard.
parade?